G'day guys, WestAussieFirefighter here. We're going in with another question and answer video, except this time it's going to be through YouTube comments because there's a couple of things that I need to clear up that I keep seeing in the comments, and there's also quite a few questions that people ask in the comments which I'd like to answer here because writing a video comment is either going to be too long for the common character limit or it's just too complicated to do over text. So yeah, there's that. So the Discord Q&A will be left to a completely separate thing. This is just something that I want to clear up. And today we're in my yellows again. You can't see the pants this time, but I've got them on, and I've got the yellow tunic on this time. So you know, just something a bit different. It's also a bit cloudy outside, so we'll need something to try and keep warm. But we've got the shirt on underneath, and this so basically, I need to actually get my notes out because I can't do it from memory. Now this one came in the other day. Basically, the thing that's been coming on, I see it a lot in my first video, is the fact that I use a chest camera instead of my helmet cam. Now I'll go and get it and I'll show you why, okay? Just stay there. Right, this is the camera. It sits here. Now, it will be impractical for me to have it on my helmet because there is nowhere on this helmet that you can mount it. And taking off the torch, you haven't got much of a mount there either. Plus, the torch is definitely useful, especially at night time. So, yeah, you're not really able to do it. Yeah, there we go. It's flipped in now. So this is where it sits. There's a... I've got a specific mount for it, which is literally... thing. But with this here, the reason I have a camera on the chest is so I don't knock it off on anything, right? Because if you've got your helmet on and you've got a camera sort of out here or out here, you're either going to have the visor in the way, which you people will complain about also, or I would knock it off on a low-hanging branch or something. So it's impractical to use it there. Also, if we're going to briefings and stuff, I can't have it out. So if we're going to briefings and I've got it here, it's just a matter of simply doing that, right? Now, of course, it does look like I've got a bit of a bump, but if you're not looking at me side on, then it doesn't look like anything. And then you can just go with that afterwards anyway, and off you go. So having it here, at least then I won't knock it off on any branches, because if anything's down here, I'm going to watch out for it anyway. Plus, I can just hide it, as you saw. And also, it's just much better to have, because I could just look down, I can make sure it's still recording or anything. So just please be grateful that you still got something out of what I take the camera for, okay? So just be grateful that you still get something. I know it's probably not the correct quality, but you've got to make up for, you know, like, I understand that you would prefer it up here or in front where you guys can actually like see stuff properly, but sometimes you just have to take a loss to make a win, you know? Like, you've got to work around some problems, and the problem here is that I don't have a mount for a damn camera on my helmet. Okay, I've got a head strap, but it's not going to go on there because it will block out my name sticker and brigade sticker, well, logo, and also it'll mess with my visor coming down, you know? So sometimes you just got to take a loss for something, right? To get what you want, you got to take a loss. And also, this particular mount here, 2 straps that run up by my neck and 2 around the back. That's how it attaches there, okay? So it's impractical to change this to my helmet. Plus, I do have, yeah, like I said, I do have a head strap, but it's not, I can't mount it to this. So, you know. So there you go, that's the camera, that's where it sits, and it'll be impractical for me to put it on my helmet without modifying the helmet itself, which I'm not allowed to do because I don't own the helmet, right? So, you know, that's what you got to get. Now on to some actual questions. So Simon's here actually replied just to say something about the camera as well, but they put it differently instead of belittling me for it. Okay, so it's from Trefree Rackster. I didn't dislike it, but I do have one honest question and some feedback. While I enjoyed the chest view and the video, your hands and hose did obscure the view from time to time. Like I said, I can't do anything about that because I'm much more focused on what I'm doing on the job than what I am of what you guys can see. So, you know, priority one, and fire is to make sure you get the damn fire out. Priority one is not to make sure you guys can see a good field of view, you know? It's not negative really because I did find myself wondering what firefighters were doing with their hands, etc. With the helmet mounted ones, I didn't get to see them articulating the end of the branch or fighting with sticky valves to shut them off. I mean, sticky valves, that's just a thing. I think it's been fixed now, but yeah. A little slight bit of a problem though, but you know, should be right. Articulating the end of the branch now, I think that means like switching up the liters per minute from 19 to 37. I think that's what our second setting is, and also changing it left for life or right for fight. I don't know. That's just no, but left for life is definitely the one when you turn it left and it goes into a big fan. That's what that is, and yeah, no, it was quite interesting to actually know how we use the branch properly, and it's branch, not nozzle. The question is from someone with no training: why fight fire on both sides of the road? So this is back to the first video. This is question number one. That wasn't supposed to happen. Okay, we were assigned to the eastern flank. So on a fire, you've got your tail, then you've got your flanks, and then you've got the head. Okay, and then in the middle is just burning. You know, burning with the head. With the flanks, it's at the side. So what we do first is we work from the tail and then go to the flanks. But if you have enough trucks on board, you can go for the tail and the flanks, which is what we did. Okay, we had the heli tacs. Apparently there was 4 of them. I didn't notice 2. No, that makes sense. There was 4 of them. There were two yellow blue ones, 1 black one, and then the Ericsson air crane. So what? Yeah, so the heli-tacs were assigned to doing the head fire, which is much easier for them because there's no way we'd get it out in quick time with our hoses on our trucks that carry, at most in our shire is 4,000 litres, roughly. But yeah, look, so we were assigned to the eastern flank to try and stop it from jumping the road, but because of how big the flank was, we have to start from the tail end and work our way up, which is what we did, right? So we went up, and then when we got up, we sort of looked behind us and it had already jumped the road because, you know, you can't do much. Like, our job was to get the side of the road and try to stop it from jumping over. But you have to realize how windy it actually is at a fire because bushfires create their own weather or wind cycles. So, you know, it's very unpredictable, and that's why fires are unpredictable. Is because the wind forecasts that you get on your weather app are not going to be the same in the middle of a bushfire. Okay, so you know you've got to be mindful of that. So it ended up jumping the road, and then we had essentially 2 bushfires running, and yeah, that's how we got fire on both sides of the road. Now that. Again, I say that wasn't supposed to happen, but you can't. Some things you just can't control, right? So you know, you can go along that as many times as you want, and something will still happen. You know, whether your truck breaks or something will happen. But yeah, so we went down the eastern flank, took out the side that was right on the edge of the road first, because that was a bit of a problem because if the wind picked up, it's just going to go over the road. Then it went down into the gully area, like down the side of the road. You'll see it later on in the video. When we're off the truck, I go down that embankment that's on the side of the road shoulder is what it's called, and all that in there. That probably wasn't too bad or much of our priority when we first got on scene because, you know, that was all sort of burning down there. If the wind had picked up, it was just going to go back onto the shoulder of the road, right? It wasn't really going to go very far, but crap happens, you know? So, yeah, we got tasked with doing the eastern flank, but it still managed to go over the other side of the road, which you actually do see that happen, right? When we first get there and we're assigned to the eastern flank, you realize that fire is only on one side of the road at that moment. As we go further up, then you see it jumps. You don't see it jump, but from what I remember, you don't see it jump, but you see sort of just after it has jumped. And then we try and reverse down there as quick as we can to go get it, but it's just taken off by that time, and it's just, you can't stop it with one truck on 1,000 litres, so you know. So yeah, that's that one. So yeah, that wasn't supposed to happen. Was it a situation where it made sense? Well, no, because was it a situation of fight fire on both sides when it made sense? No, because that's, I mean, on the deck of the truck we've got two, are they monitors? Yeah, we have two monitors, I think that's what they're called. I don't quite remember. So you got one for either side. Now, yes, it would make sense to then fight on both sides using that, but then you've only got roughly about 500 litres each, because our truck is 1,000 litres. So we were tasked with doing the eastern flank on the main fire, which is what we did. They put units up, they put appliances up where it had jumped the road anyway, so you know that was over with pretty quickly anyway. So we were tasked with doing the eastern flank. That's all we needed to do. We weren't going to mess with that other one that had jumped on the other side of the road. Of course, if we could stop it in the time, then we would have dealt with it, but by the time we got there, it had just gone out of control, so we couldn't stop it. Alright, so, you know, just, yeah, basically got to tell your incident controller that it's jumped the road, and they'll go deal with it from there, okay? Was it a situation where it made sense? Well, like I said, no, it wasn't meant to happen, so we had to work with what we had. And was there another appliance in the bush fighting the head that I couldn't say? No. Up in front of the fire, we had 2J Fire Rescue, and I think, yeah, Jolimar 2-4 are up there protecting houses up in there's a bit of a residential area right there in front of the fire, and that's where they were to try and protect houses. But no, we can't. I mean, we can attempt, but it'll be pretty useless to start attacking the head, because even with 4,000 litres on it, full pelt, the fire is still moving towards you, so you've got to keep moving. You don't want to be in front of the fire, and it's just going to be unlikely that you're going to cool the head with just a little hose, right? Like we had. So that's when you bring the heli-tacs in, and the heli-tacs deal with the head. You just go deal with the flanks and the tail, make sure it doesn't change direction and whatnot. But yeah, so that's that one, you know. So no, we weren't meant to fight it on both sides of the road. It wasn't meant to happen. That was just a turn of events, just till it came along. So from Jack Stark, we've got another few questions. One, have you ever gotten burnt while on scene? No, never. We wouldn't put ourselves in that situation where we get burnt, and if it happened to be an accident, well then we were just in the wrong place at the wrong time. But as of today, no, I have not been burnt at all. Question 2, what type of fire took the longest to put out? I don't know what type of fire specifically, but the video you're commenting on was the longest fire that I've ever been to across 2 shifts. So yeah. And number 3, what advice would you give to someone who wanted to join the CFA? Now, I'm not good with advice, and when I rehearsed this video, I went off on a tangent. But pretty much keep your head high, keep a positive mindset, and make sure you do your training to the best of your ability. Go and read up on some stuff, and just go onto YouTube, because there's plenty of videos on there of even CFA, even us, namely me, they're not quite training videos, but they're more informative videos on what we do, and basically you just go through them, pick up on stuff, take notes, and then apply it to when you go to a fire, So there's all those things there. Yeah, like I said, make sure you pay attention in your training, and yeah, like I said, I'm not great with advice. I don't know how I'm gonna, but yeah, definitely, it's a great thing to, it's a great thing to go, it's a great thing to get into, and yeah, definitely, definitely go join it, because we definitely need more younger people, to sign up, because you know, this season especially is going to be pretty crappy. So I'd expect that a few people would be wanting to join up now, because we need as many people as we can this season, especially on deployments and stuff. Because I certainly know that the Goldfields area gets pretty busy. From Sir Wilfer, y'all got a smoke jumper program down under? Nah, I you know, we try and play safe with some things. We don't even have hot shots, you know. Where there's a fire station, we've always got appliances and trucks, and we don't jump from planes through the smoke to land in the fire. I don't see the sense in that, to be honest with you. Why not just put an appliance there that's got a deluge system, burn over blankets, and well, I don't know about America, but we've got deluge systems over here in WA, and they help us in a burn over. But if you're just going in there as a hot shot, all you've got is an axe, what are they called? Actually, if you're a hot shot, you just carry an axe and a shovel, don't you? And like a bag of like water and stuff. We don't do that here, because if you get into a bad situation, then you're in a bad situation, you know? So that's probably something that Americans can specialize in. We don't do that here. Like, we've got trucks for a reason. We will utilize the trucks that can carry more water than we can on our back, and also much more tools than we can carry on our back. It's just much easier to use a truck, and I don't see the sense of jumping out of a plane into a fire. What use is that going to do? Why not just grab helicopters and bomber planes? But oh, I don't know. I don't know much about it. I don't know what you guys do. You guys are all sorts of wacky. All right. Okay. So from Chief Firefighter Plays is are there any ranks in the volunteer fire department? There kind of is, but they're not really considered ranks. It's more like roles, you know. Yeah, so in volunteer territory, we've got your firefighter, you've got advanced firefighter, you've got your lieutenant, and you've got your captain, okay? Some of you might recognize those from the Discord server as the roles. So your firefighter is your member. Your advanced firefighter, well, in this case, is your moderator on the Discord server, but you know. But the advanced firefighter in volunteer territory has done the advanced bush firefighting training course, so that allows them to do stuff that's a bit more advanced than a regular firefighter, which, to be down honest with you, I don't know what it is, but I'm willing to do it. Your lieutenant is going to be the, well, we've got 4 lieutenants, but they're kind of like, if the captain's not available, then you've got your lieutenants that will take charge at the time. They've done their I don't know if it's an incident control course, but they've done their courses to have a bit of like authority over the fireground and stuff. So you know, you're gonna have lieutenants. You know, I haven't been in there enough to understand what every role does. Then your captain's like the boss of your brigade, the hiring and firing, so to speak. Well, yeah. Your Shire does all that, but like, you know, your captain is your boss. He organizes stuff with the Shire to do stuff. But yeah, so those are your kind of ranks within the volunteer territory. But you know, definitely, yeah. Well, we kind of have ranks, but they're not really ranks in the sense of what you would. The career guys, right? They've got actual proper ranks, but yeah, volunteer days, it's just roles within your brigade, you know. So that's that. Now I think there's some from my other stuff we've been going on 20 minutes. From Paul Connor. Just an observation, you can't always fight the fire from the back of your truck. Sometimes you have to get off and chase. Especially if you're first on scene, you need to knock it down fast to stop it spreading and jumping the road. Not criticism, just my point. Well, yeah. There's a deck on the back of the truck for a reason, so we can chase down a running bushfire and fight it from the back of your truck. But if we're on mop-up, we don't get on the back of the truck, right? So if you're there first on scene, the first thing you're going to do is jump on the back of the truck, grab the monitor, and then chase down the flank or the headfire, depending on how big it is, and just stop it in its tracks while it quickly, right? Instead of lugging around a fully charged 25mm hose from the hose reel on your back and walking on foot, which is slow as God knows, slow as a gopher, you know. So what would you rather do? Get it out quickly while being quick, or get it out and much more time wasting way and slower? Well, to be fair, especially on the video you commented on, I'd much get it out quicker in a quick way, which is on the back of the truck until it becomes controlled and it's no longer running. I'd much rather stay on the back of the truck and do it. But no, we don't always have to get off and chase. You can fight fires from the back of your truck for the entire time if you want to. But it's definitely much easier during your mop-up to get off and do stuff on the ground, because then you can feel for hot spots in the ground. You can use rake hose. You can, you can do much better stuff on the ground than what you can do from the deck. But definitely in the sense of a running bushfire, I'd much rather be on the back to chase it down with the speed and the power of the truck, rather than carrying a hose around on my back, okay, and potentially getting the hose burnt, because that happens, very common. And yeah, I don't know, her name is Schizo Chick. This is this is just an observation picked up on the first video. I'd have to say that it probably wasn't the best time to be smoking a cigarette. She lit up in the middle of trying to soak some bushfires, shaking my head. Glad you're okay, young man. Must have been scary. Well done on your part. Yeah, I mean, well, let's face it, she's a lieutenant in a fire brigade on the back of a truck that carries water on a road. A road can't burn. And the flammable stuff around here is already burnt. So, to be fair, I'm not trying to be mean here. I'm just saying, like, she's lit up in a place that's actually not as bad as you'd think it would be, okay? If you're on the back of a truck with water, with a hose in your hand, mind you, just squirt the damn cigarette. Simple. Or just drop it on the back of the deck into like a puddle of water, and then it's out there. Make sure you pick it up later, but don't want littering. And she's not dumb enough to litter, okay? She's a lieutenant. She knows how to put out a damn fire, yeah? So, I mean, if you were to accidentally drop a cigarette, if you're in the fire brigade fighting a fire and you accidentally drop a lit cigarette butt into the thing, while you're fighting a fire, that's probably not going to make too much difference to the situation you're already in. Like, sure, you've started a fire, but at least you've got water and resources there to put it out rather than in there. I mean, of course, you're probably not going to get too much good comments back about it from the IC or your captain, but, I mean, to be fair, she's really not that stupid, okay? She's quite a nice lady, and yeah, she was definitely doing, whether it looks wrong or not in the video, she's a smoker, she can't help it, right? So, but, she's definitely knowing that she has the resources available to her if something were to happen. And I don't know how long she's been smoking for, but it isn't her first time. And yeah, So, but you know, it was also in a time when we could just chill out for a bit, where we had a little bit of time to wait out. Like I know it's a bit weird to hear it from me saying that we were waiting while the fire was running, but I mean, at the time we were tasked. Again, I say we were tasked with doing the eastern flank. So once the eastern flank had to calm down a bit, we were able to wait around for just a bit to sort of like kick back and watch for anything. That's basically what we were doing. Okay, so you know there was a bit of time there to light up and just kick back and relax. Okay, and just rest for a bit. So that's all fine. There's no problems there. Okay. Um. The I don't know how to say the name, but love seeing the difference between how you guys tackle them and how we tackle them here in America. Yeah, there's a huge difference. I like watching American videos of people of the American fire departments going to road crash rescues and what they do there compared to what we do here, or what other states of Australia do, right? Well, good old police rescue, huh? I don't know what the point of police rescue is when you've got a fire and rescue service. Anyway, beats me. Anyway, but yeah, no, definitely a very big difference, but also still very similar, right? But yeah, no, definitely quite interesting. From Cody Nesbitt. Skip to the action. Didn't realise you were a fellow of West Aussie until I seen the 6IP call sign. Good job from SES. Good job to SES as well. But yeah, so 6IP, 6AR, that's when you know you're Western Australian. Skip to the action. Why would you miss the intro? Just kidding. I understand. Didn't realise I was a fellow West Aussie. Well, I mean, if you kind of break down my name a little bit, you know, West Aussie Firefighter, West Aussie. Whoa, I bet your mind will be blown, mate. And from Perth username, great footage of your gloves, just what I came to see. Well, again, I showed you what I have to hold my camera on, okay? And that I can't mount it to my helmet without modifying the helmet, and also have the risk of losing the camera to a low-hanging branch. So please be grateful that you still got something out of it. You know, I can only do the best I can do, and if that comes with the loss of vision, then it comes with the loss of vision. At least you still got to see what we do. Let's have one from Hydrated. Bit of a different setup from RFS trucks. Yeah, there's a reason we moved our pump panel to the side of the truck, because a few years ago someone in West Australia was killed by a car travelling through smoke, right? That was squashed up against the truck and the front of the car that hit them. This is when we used to have our pump panels on the back of the truck as well, right? So there was a bushfire somewhere, I'm not sure where it was, but you know how the road gets all like covered in smoke. So I'm not sure if the truck they were on were in the fend off position, which, I mean, if you're at a fire on the side of the road, you typically park with your pump panel facing the action so you can see what's going on. But you park it at an angle, so if a car comes flying down the road, it'll just go along with the truck and just go around, you know. I think that's the reason for the fend off. I'm not too sure, but when we used to have the pump panels on the back, and there's already limited visibility on the road, there was a car that was coming along sort of behind the truck, but the car can't see through the smoke. I don't know how it didn't see red and blues. It probably did, but it hit the back of the truck, squashed the fiery that was manning the pump, and as a result, the firefighter died. So we moved the pump panel to the side of the truck so that when we're in the fend off position, we are protected by the truck. Okay, and that's the reason there. RFS, I think you guys still have a bit to. Yeah, I'd suggest moving your pump panel to the side of the truck so you guys don't go through the same thing. Okay. But apart from that, yeah, I mean, pretty different setup. Every state's different. Oh, jeez, excuse me. From Aussie Aviation, maybe do your helmet cam so we can see more action other than your arms. Again, I've explained it about 50 times in the comments and only once in the video. I can't do a helmet cam. I physically cannot. Okay, so you guys just have to live with what you're getting, and if you don't like it, then there's plenty of other channels out there for you to watch. All right. From West Australian Police Fire Ambo. Hey man, I saw on Instagram that you'd fire rescue as well. We still do vids. Bushfire only, because fire and rescue won't allow me to record due to the nature of most calls we'll get. So yeah, there's definitely no videos coming from fire and rescue. Unless it's like I don't even think training, to be honest, but you know, but definitely nothing from jobs. It's only bushfire fighting at the moment, because that's, yeah, it is. But there are still some regulations with bushfire of what I can and cannot record. I cannot do live streams. I cannot, yeah, there's some other things, but I'm not going to go into it. But yeah, most importantly, I cannot live stream. Emergency Service Turnouts Australia asks, what camera do I use? GoPro Hero 7 Silver. I think that's what this one is. GoPro Hero 7 Silver. I'm pretty sure that is. Yeah. But yeah, definitely a good camera. And yeah, that's that. So, oh yeah, by the way, especially Julma, we've got these little booklets here. You know, they're basically different kinds of procedures and stuff, and it's just like, you know, there's one with the fend off position in here that I'm going to show you, right? So that's it there. That's what I mean by you park with the pump panel on the incident side, and then that way when you've got someone manning the pump, they will be able to see everything that's going on behind them, right? And cars can go around. It's sort of like a pointing direction thing that will show you to go around the trucks. But yeah, so that's that. So that's a handy booklet that we keep in our pockets, just to help us. There's like stuff with truck drafting and I think some radio procedures and doctor's ABC, basic burns treatment and whatnot. But yeah. So thanks guys for tuning into this other Q&A video, YouTube comments, and yeah, definitely take into account that I've seen how many comments are wanting me to do helmet cam and how many times I have to say I can't do it. But yeah, there you go. That's your definitive answer. I just don't have a mount for it, and it's just going to be impractical on the fire ground, especially with briefings and stuff. But I made a workaround with it where I could just put it on my chest. So I could easily hide it and other stuff, you know. So it's just much easier to do that than try and dick around with the helmet and modify it and stuff, which is not going to go well in defense. Okay, so I can't do that. And yeah, so if you liked it and like to see more, please leave a like and subscribe. If you want to ask a question, please ask in the comment section, and also join the Discord where you can ask questions there for Q&A videos. But yeah, definitely always stay safe. Especially now, if you see fire or smoke, don't hesitate to call 000 or your local emergency number. I've got to be careful because I know Siri likes to come on and have a say and stuff. So I've got to be careful when I say that because I don't want her actually to call any numbers. But yeah, so if you see fire, don't hesitate to call 000 or your local emergency number. Yeah, whether it's a false alarm or not, it's still better for us to go and stand down rather than us not go and it turns into an emergency warning bushfire, which we don't want, especially not in this season. No, thank you, I'm good. Alright, but yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.